The story of evolution is one with infinite complexities and stretches back billions of years. What's even more fascinating is that evolution may have been completely accidental. The mutation in a single-celled organism may have led to all the complex, beautiful life we see on our planet today. And we are the most extreme species on the planet. But that means we are also the most violent and dangerous species on the planet. Around 70% of all birds are birds we domesticate, those mainly being chickens. And 96% of all mammals are us and the livestock we raise. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Back when we relied on the natural world to survive, their religions and beliefs were based around the environments they lived in. This was because they knew their own survival, no matter how experienced or good they were at something, wasn't completely in their control. Rather, their survival depended on their environments, so they showed their environments as much respect as they could. Now, as time went on, we lost this respect for nature. Now that we aren't so reliant on it, but that's just a lie we tell ourselves. We still need good soil to grow crops, clean water to drink, and clean air to breathe, and everything in between. Also, back then, they respected the animals and didn't think of them as necessarily below people. I think a reason for this was because people back then had to kill the animals themselves to eat. Today, when we go into a grocery store and we see the stacked shelves of meat, that's just what we see. Meat, nothing else. We don't see the animal dying. And I know that this sounds like some vegan talk, which is just the most annoying thing in the world, but that's not completely what I'm getting at here. Even if we think of the animals getting killed, or even if we see them killed, we can justify it with they were bred or made for this. But if you've hunted even just once, and then ate its meat, you get this respect for an animal. The fact that you took the life of something that experienced so many things, that has escaped from so many different predators perhaps, survived so many odds and triumphed so many times in the harsh environment that nature puts them in, and died so you could survive. Now that we don't rely on nature, or at least we think we don't rely on nature, we've unfortunately become ignorant and somewhat arrogant. Now, our modern society isn't a bad thing, but it doesn't have to exist at the expense of the natural world. As the legend Sir David Attenborough said, nature used to define how we survived, and now we decide how nature survives. But that shouldn't mean we should be ignorant and think we are above nature. If anything, we should have a sense of responsibility because we have this kind of power. At the beginning of the Holocene, our planet had a more diverse and beautiful range of wildlife than ever before in the history of our planet. But since the Holocene has gone by, this diverse life has been getting smaller and smaller. We still have time to change, to save what we have now. I don't know about you, but I don't want my grandchildren or great-grandchildren growing up in a world where they hear stories about the times when there were coral reefs in the ocean, where the fish's number could only rival the variety of colors they came in, or about the infinite rainforests of the Amazon, where the trees stretched as far as the eye could see. If we can save these things, then we should. For the sake of our future generations, for the millions of other species that rely on it, and for ourselves.